stab at different points here. I don't know if the technology will ever really replace the natural world. Think about vitamins, right? Like vitamins are great for you, but nothing's as good as eating a piece of XYZ that has vitamin D, because
out the sun or whatever. Yes.
Yeah, right. Because it's not just the vitamin D. I can't think of a plant that has vitamin D in it right now, but let's say a plant that has vitamin D in it, it also has this other chemical and this other chemical, and it kind of mixed together. And when it comes in you, like that all kind of helps you grow. It's a whole food, right? Maybe it's a question of when too, but like just putting on your headset and pretending you're outside is not really going to help, because you're not getting the vitamin D from the sun. You're not getting the fresh air. You're not getting all that. So like,
right. It can't replace it, but it can be part of the mix of your human experience in a positive way.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is this is going to sound stupid too, it is natural. Like, how can it's a freaking thing that some dingle Fritzes have created, and they dig it out of their computer thingies with electricity, and it's it's a weird, I know it's weird to say it's natural, but I'm kind of believing it's more natural than not.
I've heard that there's a whole philosophy of like, people are living in the cities is not natural, but they're like, the whole philosophy, I'm not necessarily saying I disagree, I'd more disagree with you, Jeff, but like, we're natural. We invented cities. Cities are natural, right? How's that different than someone creating, I don't know, a hut under a canopy? Is that natural? I think it's all a matter of degrees. Right?
Yeah.
Like
totally. Its definitions change too over time.
Yeah.
So
it was interesting. I remember years ago, someone took a picture of space and looked down on the cities, and the spread of the cities on the Earth looked like cancer. They looked like cancer growth.
Oh, interesting.
So in a way, like cancer is natural. It's Not to get taking this in a totally dark direction, but the point is that like it's everything is interacting with everything, right? So to Jeff's point, I guess that is natural in the sense because it came from us,
Yeah, but natural doesn't mean good, right? A cobra's venom is natural. I'm not sitting here drinking it.
Yeah, losing all my bald head hair on top of my brains is not good, but it's natural. Okay.
True. But now you can find an avatar and forget about it.
This has been a pretty incredibly wide-ranging philosophical discussion, Leo. Jeff and I don't usually, we don't usually kind of, we're doing stuff like that more often, and you brought out the best in us.
Yeah, man. No, we go to Leo for this stuff.
This has been awesome. But if I could tie it back to the workflow,
please tie it back.
I think there's a couple of different ways the not so satisfying answer on a day-to-day. It's like, using AI nowadays is like incorporating like a keyboard into your workflow. It's just there, right? Like you're using a keyboard and mouse. That's the way, essentially, I think you should look at it, right? Like it's just part of the tool that you use. But more and more, if you're looking at it from a workflow perspective, is focusing on like those repetitive tasks or smaller teams having access to other people, right? Like if it is a team that only has a copywriter and not a strategist or whatever it may be, use that to fill a gap, right? But I think it's more like it's a keyboard. I don't think about keyboard in my workflow process.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tool, man.
It's a very sophisticated tool.
Yes. The other two, like you're talking about PowerPoint too. I think they call it Copilot, right? Or I've heard it called like a caddy. I like that kind of idea. Like it's just your friend, your buddy. I might ask you to look over a presentation for me. That looks really real. Like it actually looks pretty darn good.
Say something, Jeff, so the podcast audience can see you.
Aye, matey. Oh, tool. I use me hook as my tool.
This looks like it looks pretty darn good. At least if it was just the facial hair, I might be tricked.
Yeah, it's like that deep fake tool that I'm using for my workflow, bruv.
Exactly.
Well, I just thought of something because I'm such a pea brain, but in terms of workflow, just the way that AI can, as you were saying, Leo, earlier, it can analyze a bunch of footage, say, and pick out the guy with the red T-shirt for you.
Yep.
It could probably, if you're using Asana and Slack and your email and 2 other programs, and you've lost your file, maybe there's a way of, engaging AI to find it for you.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah,
Somebody.
like that could be a feature underneath your company.
We'll put it in the our fanny pack. We got to show our fanny pack.
Yes.
Can I have a fanny pack?
Oh, hex to the X. You can have the fanny pack. We'll show you the video, and then you could be like, "Bruv, I'm already using that on a spreadsheet." And
Let's
I'll
do
be
it.
like, "Cool."
Let's do it. I think, is there an opportunity for you all, right? Because like back to these purpose-driven kind of tools, like you look at someone's workflow, you see there's a gap, right? It doesn't have to be using ChatGPT. It goes back into like our initial conversation of like, oh, I see that you really need someone to do X, Y, Z. And then you just develop the model tool and you implement it into that workflow versus like, it's not so satisfying and be like, it's a keyboard, just use it. Doesn't help you all or even the company as much.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, Jeff is really the expert at this. So I should let him answer, but I think that's right. The idea is that we go in and it's always a custom solution for whoever we're working with, because the journey of the company we're working with is always different than the last one we did. The size of the company, the ambition of what they're doing, and then you go into the more granular detail of how they're working, and then you see what they're working with. And then you, like, to your point, you find the gaps or you realize the redundancies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And yes, and to be able to, and Jeff does this, you automate certain processes already. But yeah, in the future, I think that some of this stuff would be cool to have AI doing some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trick is the agility of a thing to fill the gaps. Like pretend you find you go into a place, you find all the workflow and you find all the gaps, and it would be like, let's just use our imagination. You put it all on a dashboard map, kind of electronical map, and you draw where the gaps are and draw to where the things need to get filled in by what things, and then that magical AI dude could come in and just boop boop beep bop bop. And so right now we just come in and say, yeah, that's here's how you can handle that. But I'll tell you one funny thing that I've noticed recently is when I'm dealing with some of these people, a lot of them are super organized and they have really, really good tracking tools that they've developed themselves. And usually the issues that they're having are way more animal intelligence stuff, like how to communicate. Somebody's not really communicating. They're sending way too many emails, like to your point, Leo, or
Interesting.
Slack the wrong way, or they're just saying shit the wrong. It's almost like, all right, let's sit down, everybody. Let's just chat about chat. Chat about like what's clear to other people. Imagine this. If you received a forwarded email that made no sense, would you enjoy that? Oh, actually, no. So I guess I'll stop doing that. It's that kind of conversation we're having a lot of.
But also, isn't it, Jeff, isn't there something that you encounter is that, yes, they're using sophisticated tools in a sophisticated way, but it's almost that employee is doing that, and then another employee is doing this, and another employee is doing that. In other words, everybody has their own way of how they're working and communicating.
Yeah. That's a really good point. It's not like a simple foundation that they're working off of, which is really the thing. It's back to the philosophy conversation. It starts with a real good, simple, strong foundation. Leo, let's get you back for that.
Please.
I gotta go drive my daughter to volleyball pretty soon, so I gotta have to peace out. But this, seriously, it's so great, Leo. Disappoint.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got the baby over there.
You're sleep deprived. We're hitting it with nonsense, and you're turning it into actual, real sort of advice for people. Fantastic.
I really just thankful for our friendship. Thank you for this. It means a lot to me to be able to be on this. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, we're thankful. You're just a rad dude all around, and so we'll get you back in here if you can stand it for another round.
Yeah, please. One thing I'll say before I go to, one of my first memories of you, Jeff, is you explained to me what SharePoint was, and you kind of walked me through all the SharePoint stuff you were developing. And now today, maybe Microsoft will listen to this one day. I hate SharePoint. It has nothing to do with you. Those are two different things. But anytime I have to use SharePoint, I'm like,
dude,
I think of Jeff and I get really angry.
I know, that bald son of a bitch. No, but seriously, I think not to defend any software that's too complicated.
But
I think it just has too many features and just tries to do too much junk. And if it could just focus, it's good for collaborate. It's like Google Slack. When I look at SharePoint, I think of it like Google collaboration tools. That's it. I don't really, it does have workflows. It does have a bunch of stuff, but I just try to keep it to the minimum.
Keep it simple.
That's exactly it. But Leo, thanks again.
Yes, thank you.
Johnny boy,
Thank you, Leo.
for the
you,
use.
Jeff.
Always good to see you.
Likewise.
We'll catch you on the flip, and
All
stay fresh. Give the
Give that
baby
kid a hug, Leo.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Smash that like button and subscribe and tell your grandmas and grandpas to do it.
X-Con.